Hello and welcome everyone. I am Sergeant First Class Khan with the Special Operations Recruiting Battalion and the Warrant Officer Recruiting Company. And I'm joined here today with CW5 Hecht.
Perfect.
She is a 420 Alpha,
Yes.
and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experiences. So ma'am, without further ado, if you could please share with us some of your experiences as a 420 Alpha and how you feel about serving in your particular field.
I love being a 420 Alpha. I love being the technical expert in the field. I've always been in the regulations, looking, researching, making sure I had the right answers. And I'll be honest, when the warrant officer recruiter approached me about becoming a warrant officer, I kind of looked at him funny and said, "Are you talking about me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm talking about you." And I'm like, "Okay, let's give it a try." So for me, after that, it was like, I like doing this job. I like being a 420. It's all I've ever done in the military. As we go up in rank, of course, as you know, things get a little more technical, a little more detailed. They require a little more from you. Don't get me wrong. I love a challenge. Challenges are great. And as most of us in the Army now know, we've gone through some definite changes, in the admin field at least, the changes in the evaluation system. We're looking forward to TSAE coming on board, making it a whole lot easier for soldiers to manage their records, to see positions that are available to them. What else can I tell you about being a 420? I just love being a 420. Not just for the commanders and stuff, but for soldiers too, because soldiers will come and they'll be like, "Hey chief, this is what I'm being told, but I'm not sure that that's the right answer." And I'm like, "Hey, come on in, sit down. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out where you're getting the information from. Let me set you on the right track." 420 is kind of broad. We do everything from strength management, oh my gosh, to evaluation, strength management, OERs, NCOERs. What else do we do?
There's a whole world of stuff that you all do.
There's a whole...
Don't get me wrong, we love all of the advice that we receive on a day-to-day from our 420. So my commander, in fact, happens to be 420. So
cool.
I'm very stoked about that.
Yes.
Now, as to our next question, ma'am, in terms of the day-to-day for a 420, what can a new candidate coming into the field expect to do on a day-to-day basis, and how do those responsibilities grow over time?
Wow, it's a good question. Coming in, it's been a while since I've been in W1. I have to be honest with you.
Well, I'm sure you supervised many W1s.
I've supervised a couple, not a whole lot. Just getting, I don't know how to, I want to say coming in and I guess getting a feeling for what the office is like. You're going to come into a unit. They're probably going to have a battle rhythm, so understand the battle rhythm, understand your responsibilities with the battle rhythm. Don't think that, if I'm gonna assign you OERs, that OERs are all you're gonna do. You're probably gonna reach out. You may be doing awards. You may be doing strength management, which they do at a higher level, usually at the 3 level, usually at division and corps level. But it also going to also depend upon what level of command you're at. There's just, I don't know. I guess for me, it's just because there is so much we do in the AG community that we don't think about the eaches or the individuals. It's just kind of, okay, it's AG, my realm is this wide, I'm just not single scoped down one road. I have all of these responsibilities, and and it can change after 3 months, after 6 months, after a year. If I'm feeling you're doing awesome and you're handling OERs and you're managing profiles, now I think you might be able to pick up a second job, so to speak. You may be the person processing and handling awards and handling those things. So as we go on, not only does our ability to critical think and do that, but the scope of what we do also expands. We may have 2 or 3 jobs that we have to do. When you start getting up into the 3 and the 4 rank, that, okay, you be able to critical think, multitask, and do all those things that AG wants to do.
Sure. Thank you for that insight.
You're welcome.
In terms of insight as far as a potential candidate seeking out a senior warrant officer for a letter of recommendation, what attributes do you seek in them to be comfortable writing them a letter of recommendations? As in, if I am a potential 42 candidate and I am seeking you out for a letter of recommendations, what attributes should I seek in myself, in essence, to ask you for that letter of recommendation?
Probably one of the biggest things is leadership, because people were under the old impression that, long time ago, that warrant officers weren't leaders. And yes, in fact, we are leaders, we're teachers, we're coaches, and we mentor. So leadership, of course, is also one of those things. And I also ask the candidates about, can you do what's right when no one's looking? That integrity part of, all right, the boss isn't here, I know I've got 5 things to do and he wants me to get them all done before I leave, can I get them all done? If you can't, come back to me and tell me why you can't get them done. I'm okay with that, as long as you give me I don't want to say a valid reason, but that's what's going to be. Hey, these are my priorities, these are how I see them, this is what it is. Selfless service, the ability to sometimes, like, we stay till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night just to get something done. What else?
It's just critical functions that
critical functions that need to be done. How do you interact? What is your interaction? As a 420, as everybody probably knows, we deal with people on a day-to-day basis, so it's one of those, can you communicate effectively? And I don't want to sound, I don't know what the word is, can you communicate with the E3, E4 coming in to do a records review, but turn around and also converse with the brigade commander or the division commander at a level where you can do that too, because in this job, communication is a big part of what we do.
Wow. Yeah, that's stellar advice there. I can't stress that enough. Communications is absolutely key and imperative. What advice would you give as a mentor in the cohort to someone new that is seeking out an opportunity to become a warrant officer?
What advice would I give? Don't limit your scope of just your MOS. Remember, we're a cohort, so we're a team. Regardless of MOS, we're a team and we're a cohort. Reach outside your MOS. I actually have mentors. One was actually in the 920 field, and the other one was actually in the signal field, because I looked at those attributes of that person and said, that's kind of the person I want to be like when I grow up. They just had everything that I imagined a warrant officer would be. And don't get me wrong, not just within our cohort, but I am sure there's officers out there that we can all look up to too and say, that's a good officer. I'd like to either A, work with them, or B, use some of the characteristics and the traits that they have when I'm in the cohort, and do that, because anything positive we take from any of our mentors, our teachers, and sometimes we learn from from the sergeants in the sergeant first classes too, don't get me wrong.
Informal leadership.
Informal leadership, you know. So that's what I would say most about coming into the cohort. Don't limit yourself to your MOS. Reach out. We're all, what's not the word, touchable. We're all, touchable is not the word. We can all communicate back and forth with each other. We network. So if there's something you need that you know I can probably get an answer for, you can call me and say, hey, I need your help, I need this, or I can call you and say, hey, look, the boss has X time and he wants to do this, and how can we get this whatever it happens to be. It's networking within the cohort, but also sometimes outside of the cohort, because there's some really, really good officer leaders out there that, I would follow into battle.
Sure. Chief Hecht, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
thank you for having me.
absolutely, and we appreciate the insight into the realm of the 420 Alpha. For those of you listening out there that are considering a career as a 420 Alpha, I would tell you, go warrant now. And again, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Sergeant Conley. Appreciate it.